Okay, guys, thank you for joining me today. This is the Angry Prepper. Today's episode is going to be on the dunning-kruger effect. Now, I did the same subject on my urban channel. I'm doing it on the outdoor channel because this is going to pertain to wilderness survival and outdoor skills. So the dunning-kruger effect is a cognitive bias, is where a person builds a reality around themselves, believing that their skills are way better than they really are. So they're pretty much lying to themselves. In the outdoors, in the wilderness, the forest, even the desert, there is no room to lying to yourself about your survival skills, because the outdoors will kill you. It's as simple as that. The cold, the heat, the damp, trees, grass, snakes, everything out there is looking to kill you for the most part, right? And you have to know how to survive out there. So lying to yourself about your wilderness skills could only lead to one place, and that's you badly hurting yourself or you dying. There are ways to get out of the dunning-kruger effect without beating yourself up, right? So I did suffer from the dunning-kruger effect, and it almost cost me my fingertips and my toes, right? Because I was an arrogant prick and my skill set wasn't as good as I thought it was. That being said, when I was done with that outing, I had to change the way I thought because, like I said, I almost suffered from hypothermia and I almost lost a couple fingers and toes. Now, little things got me through the night, but nonetheless, I thought my skill set was good. I wouldn't say great, but good. Now, the way I got out of that is after that outing, I started challenging myself. I started challenging my skills to see where I lied in those skill sets. Starting fires, building a shelter, filtering water, even tracking, right? Trapping is something I would love to get into, but that's not a skill I'm worried about just yet. But tracking, I started picking up a little better. Now, that's how I challenged myself. I started looking at different ways to start fires. I started looking at different ways to carry my gear. I started looking at different ways to build a shelter, right? Different ways to filter water. So that being said, I did go to a wilderness survival school so that, I learned more things. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn new things. Learning new things is going to also diminish the dunning-kruger effect on you, right? You have to keep this in mind. You have to know that you can only fake it for so long. Okay, that's the other. You can only fake it for so long until A, someone calls you out on it, or B, like I said before, it kills or hurts you. Now, there was a guy in my group who, if you spoke to him, you thought he was the wilderness king. You thought he could talk to bears and chipmunks and start fires with the snap of a finger the way he spoke about himself. This guy suffered from the dunning-kruger effect, big time. So I had to call him out. And I called him out in subtle ways to let him know, you really don't know what you think you know. And I knew he didn't know because his gear was just too fresh. It was too new looking. So I had to nip that in the bud. When we had a wilderness test at the end of the weekend, he failed miserably. Meanwhile, a girl who never started a fire, who never did any of these wilderness things, passed the test. And Mr. Wilderness King failed miserably. So again, he suffered, and he still suffers from it today, because even after pointing out what he did wrong, to this day, he still carries on about being being the best wilderness guy out there. I don't know if I keep him around for comical reasons or he just hasn't gotten a hint yet, but nonetheless, that's the kind of guy you don't want to be. You don't want to be that jerk that no one takes seriously because everyone knows you're a fraud. So that being said, do yourself and learn new things, and do yourself a favor, big favor. Get honest opinions from honest friends and family members. That's the most important thing when it comes to evaluating your skills. You can judge yourself, but if people are looking at you, if you're putting up videos and you're turning to people to say how I did, you need honest feedback. You don't need anyone to coddle you and baby you and tell you you did a good job when you really didn't, or when you could have done it better, right? Honest opinions is what you need. Honest feedback is what you need. You don't need coddling, right? Again, the force is not going to coddle you. The force is going to kill you. So if your friends do the right thing and your family members do the right thing and tell you the honest truth, you can only do one thing from there: get better. Always continue to learn new things. Never stop. If you have two go-to ways to start a fire or two go-to ways to filter water, make sure you have a total of 6 ways to filter water and start a fire. Your main 2 are your go-to, but if 1 and 2 don't work, you still have 4, 5, and 6 to fall back on. That's a good thing. The more you know things, the more your skills are broadened, the better your survival is in the wilderness. It's that simple. The more you know, the better you are at surviving. All right. There are too many people who've gone out in the woods, knew this much, and died. Right? Hypothermia, falling off a trail. I mean, just poor decision making because they didn't have the skills to point them in the right direction. So do yourself a favor and open up a book, wilderness book, look at the skills that are in there, and pick a skill and go, I'm going to do this the next time I go out, and work on that skill while you're out there. That's the best way to learn new things, challenge yourself, and then you picked up another way to do something different, right? So, other than that, guys, thank you for watching. This is The Angry Prepper. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also like and subscribe to my urban channel. And if you are into photography, you can like and subscribe to the Angry Lensman channel if you're into photography. All right, guys. Other than that, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. Thank you for watching.